Okay, so today what you guys are going to be doing, or what you're going to be observing, is the Gold Rush penny demo. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we are turning our copper pennies into quote unquote gold. So looking at your questions, one of the questions on there was, why do we have to use pennies that are dated later than 1982? Okay, why do we have to use pennies that are dated later than 1982? Justice. Right, because pennies that are 1982 or older have a higher copper count and they don't have as much zinc. Now pennies today, they're coated in zinc, so we can't coat them again because they've already been zinc plated. Johnny. Oh, whoops. We left Shelby in the hallway. That's okay. Is she coming? All right, I'll keep going. So this is basically the demo today. Is I'm going to show you how we can change the properties of copper to appear to have, sorry Shelby, to have a different color or a different change in its appearance. Okay, so what you basically need, and you guys can do this at home, but I went on YouTube last night and I saw a video on how to do it. I'm not going to tell you how to do it because it has you play with cleaning chemicals, and I don't, I'm not recommending that. But if you want to look into it and do it with your parents, then you can. Don't do it on your own, okay? So, or you can order this kit from Flynn, the science catalog that we order all of these kind of cool little demos from. So if you want to order it from that, you can. So the first thing you need to do with your pennies, which I've already done, is you're going to want to put them in a solution of vinegar and table salt, because what this does is it takes all that oil from your hands, and obviously money has been handled a lot. Okay, so a lot of these pennies are older than me even, so that's really old. And so you want to get rid of all that grime. So if you look at them, they're not like super shiny like a pen, a shiny new penny, but I've gotten all of that residual grime off of them. So I haven't handled them at all, because you have to use the tweezers to handle them so you don't get more oils onto the pennies, because if you get oils on them, it won't work. You're also going to need your beaker with some distilled water in it that we use to rinse and to cool them off. And then you're going to need a beaker that is empty. And you're going to put that on your hot plate, or you can, if you're doing this at home, you can use a stove to heat the liquid. The liquid that's going in is going to be zinc chloride solution. And as you can see, I have it set up to the highest temperature just to get it rolling. And then inside the beaker, which is kind of, let me focus real quick. And this is just zinc granules, okay? So it kind of looks like glitter, but it's zinc, okay? And then you're going to put that in with your zinc chloride solution, kind of swish it around a little bit, and let it go to a boil. Okay, so we're waiting at this point, waiting for the zinc solution. Come on now. There we go. The zinc solution to start boiling. So let's look at your questions while we're waiting for that. Okay, so what color do you think the penny will turn when it's mixed with the granular zinc and the zinc chloride solution? Looking at the zinc powder that I showed you, what color do you think the pennies are going to turn? Silver, because the first change is silver, okay? So what's going to happen is you're going to, once it starts boiling, which is going to happen any second now, we're going to put these pennies that were in the vinegar and salt solution into the zinc and zinc chloride solution. And what's going to happen is that zinc granules are going to attach themselves to the copper penny and turn the penny silver. Okay, so that's what we're going to look at right now. And already it's boiling. It doesn't even take that long. So the main part of this is trying not to burn yourself, which we all know that I really kind of am not very good at that. So I like to hurt myself a lot. So we're going to zoom in so you guys can see it, because I want you to see it close up. Move this over a little bit. And you'll be able to see the copper penny will start to turn silver. And halfway through, once you see that it's turning a different color, halfway through, if you flip them over, then the other side will turn silver too. So basically, it's just observing that right now. So um, after we dip it into the solution, now it's in the solution. After it turns silver, we are going to rinse them off, cool them off, and then compare what they look like. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and flip them over, supposedly. The reason we have to flip them over is so that the zinc granules can get on the bottom side as well. And if you were noticing when I flipped it over, there was a quite a large difference between the copper side and the now silver side. So we'll give that a couple minutes too on this side for the zinc to grab on. So basically what's happening is the heat is making the particles get all excited. Remember when we did the rusty iron lab and we touched the 9-volt battery to the steel wool, which gets those oxygen atoms very excited and they want to grab onto the steel and rust it, okay? So once we start heating up the copper and we start heating up the zinc together with this solution, that zinc wants to grab onto that copper and create an effect that the penny is actually turning silver, okay? So they're bonding together. Try to keep them separate so that they don't mess up, but I guess we'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and see how they look. Zoom out a little bit. It's going to look a little different. All right. It's a lot easier to do when it's not boiling in front of my hands. Ow, ow. Okay. Ah. This penny is being difficult. We're going to put it back in. They're both being difficult. All right. Yeah, I don't know. This is the problem we had in first period too. Second period, I wish I would have recorded it because we had really awesome results. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take these out. I don't know why it's not sticking. This is the hardest part, is getting them out with the tweezers, because you don't want to like burn yourself, but at the same time. Okay, let's stick them in the water, rinse them off. One of them turned good. Urgh. This is like the claw machine game. I'm really bad at it. Okay. Okay, we're gonna put that back on there, and I'll throw 2 more in there. Maybe they'll do their thing while we're waiting. What's that? Yeah, I'm gonna zoom in. Okay. All right. So these two. Let me turn a little bit. Whoops. There we go. Okay. So these two right here were the ones that just came out of the silver bath or out of the zinc bath. Okay, so we have the copper right next to it. So this is what it started out as. Okay, and this is what it turned into. So you can see on the back, it didn't necessarily grab in the middle. It could have been just like an extra dirty penny. Okay, so if you really, really want to get your pennies to really work well and clean them really well, you can use steel wool to clean them with that salt and vinegar solution. But this one turned out much better. Okay, so you can see it's solid silver on both sides. This one's got a little copper in the middle, but that's okay. I'm not going to be too concerned about that. I'm going to add a little bit more solution so I don't burn this. Hold on. Yep. Okay. All right. So now the question is, how do we go from silver? So we went from copper to silver. How do we go from silver to gold? And that's what the question is. So what we're going to do is we're going to, after we pulled it out of the solution, we rinsed it off, and if we add heat to the zinc coated penny, it's going to start acting like a brass alloy. And if you guys all know that brass is a golden in color, okay? So this is like one of those brass plated, jewelry or whatever. So once we add it to the heat, which I'm going to show you, it's going to turn gold right before your very eyes. And this is like the very exciting part. Hold on. Let me get to the right spot. Okay. These ones are turning much faster. Put those back on there. Okay, so if I take this silver penny right here, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and focus for you before I put it down. So it looks like a quarter, right? But it's a penny. So if I put it on the heat and the hot plate, now watch. I'll focus in there a little bit. There we go. Now watch it. Just watch. Hasn't done anything yet. You guys are like, ooh, nothing's happened yet. Here it goes. Isn't that cool? So it went from, now it looks kind of copper, right? But this is because it's really hot. It's at 550 degrees Celsius. I'm going to flip it over and make sure it turns on both sides. Now remember when I told you I had the distilled water off to the side for cleaning and rinsing, but also for cooling, because you don't want to pick this up with your bare hands. So let's zoom out, and we have the distilled water right here. Oops. Okay. So once it looks copper in color on the video, but as soon as we put it in the water, okay, it's going to make a little noise. Okay, see? See the difference? Okay, so now it's okay for us to take out. Awesome. Okay. And there we go. Okay. We do. We have gold pennies now. Okay. Okay. Sell them on eBay. I don't really think they're going to be worth that much. Okay, so you have the copper, which is what we started with. Then we went to the zinc, and then we turned it into a brass alloy. And ta-da, you have golden pennies. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. That was how you did that. I'm going to stop that now.